Folks, this is Lose Control every Wednesday between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. only on 93.3 CFMU. Let me tell you about today's show. It's a good one. They always are. At about 4:20 or so, we'll join Dead Ed Sessions. These young men are celebrating a CD release this weekend, and I know these guys have been working hard on this particular record, so it's highly anticipated amongst their friends and fans. So we'll speak with them about 4:20 or so. Before that, we'll talk to Terry Wilkins. You may know him from Big Sugar fame as well as Rough Trade fame. He has a new alt country roots band called the Choir Centers, and Terry Wilkins is going to be joining us after the MP3 of the week, courtesy of our friend Rob Sweeney. And sitting with me right now is Manolis, the one and only. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How you doing?
Welcome back.
It's great to be back, man.
You see, now you've got the wrong mic. No, grab the see?
Oh, wait. There we go.
Isn't that better?
Is that supposed to be like this?
Yeah.
Well, who did this? I'm not Mike.
Doesn't he ask good questions, Bill? Grab a mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Cadillac Bill as well is our special guest, and we're going to be talking about his show, the Cadillac Bill Show, the CBS, which you can see on Cable 14. I've seen a few episodes, and it's amazing, Bill.
Oh, cool. Thanks,
yes, so we're going to look forward to talking to you and learning more. The two of you know each other. Closer to the mic.
Okay.
Or just monkey around so it gets right into position.
You, maybe.
All right, excellent. I was also going to say, do you think I could get that light on up there?
Can you hold my chair?
Yeah.
That was good. It's been a while since we talked on radio.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And it is good to see you
It's
here
good to
at
see you.
CFMU.
Thank you.
And, I always liked being on your show, and it's excellent to have you.
Well, we always had memorable times on the show, Bill.
Very much so.
Yeah. You're enjoying your time on Cable 14?
Oh, yeah.
Show's a blast.
It's basically, I just got so tired of doing the music thing and being at bars, and, I'm just getting old, so I figured I'm going to do something new. And I've always liked doing film.
Right.
I figured I'll make a little TV show.
And you've got a good one happening.
Oh, great. It's fun. It's anyone can get a TV show. Really, anyone can do it. It's just that you got to sort of have some idea what you're doing. You got to have a camera. You got to have a microphone. And that's
it.
That's literally it. You just go to Cable 14 and say, hey, I got an idea. You fill out a half a page, write down a bunch of ideas. And you just say, here you go. And if they think you're a decent person, you're not going to...
See, that's the tough one, right?
Well,
it's like,
even if you don't do it, it's like they just, you just hand them the episodes.
Right.
So they don't have to do anything.
Right.
And
to use their equipment?
Well, if you use their equipment, they own the show.
Oh.
So you can't even put it on YouTube.
That's a good question.
No, a lot of people who haven't had any film experience or don't have any equipment, and if they've come up with a good idea, Cable 14 will shoot it for them, but you don't own it.
Uh-huh.
You can stick around for most of the show, Bill?
Oh, I sure will.
Fantastic. This is what we're going to do. We're going to spin some music. We'll start off with some music from The Damned. We'll take care of a couple of requests. As I mentioned, Rob Sweeney's going to give us the MP3 of the week. We're going to talk to Cadillac Bill and learn more about his show, Dead End Sessions, as well as Terry Wilkins. Folks, you are listening to Lose Control on 93.3 CFMU. The anthem of all anthems, folks. Who Will Save Rock and Roll, courtesy of the Dictators from DFFD. And before that, Neat from the Damn First album. Cadillac Bill sitting in with me, as well as Manolis. Folks, if you're just joining us, we really just scratched the surface talking about Cadillac Bill's new show on Cable 14, the Cadillac Bill Show. I watched the first 4 episodes on YouTube.
Oh, it's a brand new show then?
I'm sorry?
No, we've got 15 episodes.
Oh, okay.
I watched the first 4, and I think there's been more that have been uploaded as of late.
There's 8 on YouTube
right now. There's 8. Wow. As you mentioned earlier, it's just the concept of submitting an idea to a television station and being responsible for content and definitely making sure that it was going to be approved by the powers that be in order to air it. But was the whole concept of the Cadillac Bill show just to kind of show sort of the lighter side of Hamilton?
Yeah, it was. Well, basically, one thing about Cable 14 is it's got to be about Hamilton. It's got to be about Hamilton, local talent or info. So I was thrilled to just do a show all on Hamilton. I thought that would be a great thing. And my show isn't actually about music, and it's about all kinds of things.
Right.
So a lot of people assume, well...
It's kind of like a variety show.
That's what I guess is what it is. And I have no idea what to compare it to.
Well, that's a great thing, is that it's kind of unique in its own way. You've got your band, the Creeping Band.
Yeah, they're like the Ed McMahons. Right. Who kind of... Really,
they bred.
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of Ed McMahons.
Right.
And
but they also play.
Yeah, they do, but not for every episode.
Right.
But most of the time, yes, they play for the end credits.
And then you've got Shane Shaft.
We got Shane Shaft, and Mike Holler is the guitarist now, because Billy Becker didn't want to be on television.
That's funny.
It's odd. He doesn't want to do anything where he doesn't get paid. He just wants to do music, and that's it. So we got Mike Holler.
Which doesn't pay.
Which doesn't pay either, so, yeah. So Mike Holler's now playing playing guitar, and then Mike Williams is the bass player.
Who you've had in your band before.
Yep. So, and then Dan Koltoff is the drummer.
Mainstay in your band for a very long time.
Very long time, yeah. Actually, Mike Williams has been in my band since almost the mid-90s.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it when I was seeing these old VHS tapes.
Wow.
That was Mike.
So next year he gets a Cadillac Bill pension for 20 years.
Yeah, he's going to get like a little watch from one of those slot machines you get in a supermarket, the plastic things.
This is for you, Mike.
Yeah. So that's going to be very exciting for him. I'm sure he's absolutely looking forward to that, his little watch.
So what happens on the show?
Well, it's basically it's sort of a comedy, but it's not supposed to be a comedy.
It's a dog that walks with a dead squirrel in its mouth.
Yeah, the Frenchie the Beagle finds a dead squirrel, and there's Sophie the Dachshund who dresses up, and then we go around.
Oh yeah, dresses up like a wiener.
Well, yeah, she does that too. Yeah. Oh, she's got more clothes than most of us have.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we go off and do little segments on things.
Right.
Interesting things. Like usually the seedy underbelly of Hamilton. The stuff you don't really hear about. That's what I want to
You hung out in a bookmobile.
Yep.
Did you drive it? Did they let you drive the bookmobile?
Oh, I drive the bookmobile. That's my job.
Oh, wow.
I work for the Hamilton Library driving the bookmobile.
I had no idea. See, Manolis?
Yeah. See, you guys just learned something, eh? But you didn't know that.
That's a Hamilton fact.
That's a Hamilton fact.
Hamilton fact, right?
Two people learned something, plus the listeners.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah.
We're up
those
to like
two
10.
have learned something as well.
Yeah. We asked for 2 more so we can be a dozen. But no, there was the episode of you in the bookmobile. There's the episode of Robert Gordon, which we'll talk about shortly.
Yeah.
You hung out with Graham Rockingham during Supercrawl.
Yeah, and the
Roller Girls.
Roller Girls.
Yeah. But the one thing that I thought was kind of interesting was the talking to the dead.
Yes, that.
What?
You see, that's not a joke, and it's not made up. Some people, because they think my shows are sort of funny, they think it's made up, and that is absolutely real. I went out and bought a ghost box, something called a ghost box.
You bought a ghost box?
Yeah.
Okay, explain to me what a ghost box is.
Radio Shack used to sell them. They're not in business anymore. I saw this investigation show, and they had this thing called a ghost box.
Okay.
And it's basically like a radio transmitter that picks up all these different frequencies, and it's constantly searching for a frequency where a voice is coming through.
Uh-huh.
And that's what the spirits use to communicate with us, I guess.
Okay.
So it's like a walkie-talkie that dead people use.
Well, yes.
That you can catch their voices if you have it on.
Voice. You can only hear like one or two or three words. They can't
at a time.
Say a whole sentence. And most of the time you don't hear anything.
So what did you do?
Well, at some point, I brought the clips, the audio.
We're going to play that later.
You have recordings?
Oh, yeah, of ghosts. Of spirits.
Here?
Yes, I brought it right here with me.
Are they edited so we just hear it right? Okay.
Yeah, the clip.
That's awesome.
So if people want to see those episodes, they go on YouTube, and that is episode 2 and episode 5.
Episode 2 and episode 5?
Episode 5 has our ghost segments with this woman called Cheryl Tice, and it's called Ghost Talk. Ghost segment.
But you're a ghost box, right?
Yeah,
you bought it, but Cheryl's helping you with it?
I just told her long time ago, she's a friend of a friend, I said, hey, I mentioned I was looking for someone to do the ghost stuff on my show, and she said, oh, I'm interested in doing that. And that's why she's the ghost girl. So, because literally I knew that I wanted to have some kind of paranormal investigation in here.
Right. And you've actually sung about that's been a subject in your songs before too, though, right?
Ghosts.
Haven't you sung about
bald bodies, the exhumation of intact human remains. A lot of that I'm interested in.
Wait, where did you go with the ghost box? Did you go somewhere spooky or just did it on
Did you go to the Hamilton Mountain, right?
The mental asylum up there. We went up there.
Yes!
It's called Century Manor.
Right.
And we literally had to sneak in there. I tried to get permission for us to go in, and they said, oh, no, you're not even allowed to be outside this building. So we literally...
Why is that?
I don't know, but
it's all closed down, right?
It's closed down. So we literally did the session out, like, in the stairwell outside. We were, like, hanging out by the building. And we got a lot of good stuff at that building.
Yeah, no, the episode was pretty cool.
And then we went to... we've done 7 segments, and only 2 of them we can use. The other ones, we didn't get any response. Dundon Cemetery, we got some good stuff, and Century Manor.
Did any of these ghosts use any profanity?
No. No.
So they're happy ghosts? Or at least they're polite ghosts?
Oh, no. Some of them wanted Cheryl to leave.
Wow.
And some of them, she would ask
Does she not get spooked out by that kind of stuff?
I do.
A little bit.
But what drives her to go back? You.
Well, I tell her, I say, hey, I call her up, hey, we got to get another segment done.
We got an episode to film.
No, this is television. We got to do that.
Get back out there.
What was the questions that Cheryl would ask?
It's usually, it's very hard just to get any response initially. So you kind of have to just say, hey, I'm Cheryl, I'm here. Anybody
you got to warm up to
the
spirit.
Yeah. And then you may get nothing. And it's just, it goes on and on.
So there's foreplay.
Well, if you want to put it that way, this is serious stuff here.
Yeah,
but yes,
man.
You could say that. We're trying to charm them.
Right.
And then if they want to, talk, they don't really... sometimes they'll say stuff in response to what she's saying. She'll say, is anyone there? Hi, is anyone there? And you'll hear a voice saying hello. Or she'll say, do you want us to leave? And the voice will say yes. Or another voice would say, get out.
I think I've seen the episode that the voice.
Are you hearing them right in the moment? The voices, or
most of the time not. But you can hear something coming out of here. But because it's windy, and the camera's right there by the ghost box, we're not hearing what's coming out of it perfectly. But sometimes, she can hear that there's been a response to something directly she said. But most of the time, it's not until I'm editing it that I can hear the stuff.
Do you believe it's 100% true, like real? The responses?
Yeah, because I can't imagine what else it could be. I know there's radio chatter. It picks up radio chatter, and some of the times I know what the difference between radio chatter is because I can hear the music for a second or something.
Are you going to do more of this stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ongoing segment.
Yeah.
Oh, is it weekly, though?
We need to find... Well, right now, the season, there's only 2 because we shot 7, only 2 we can use because the other 5 we just didn't get any good stuff. We just got a couple of hays and a hello, and that's all.
Yeah.
So we need to have good stuff. And we've done the Hermitage. We've done.
My buddy's place is haunted.
Yeah.
He says a woman staring at him while he tries to sleep. I could probably hook that up.
Well, I'll tell you what. You and anyone listening, if anyone knows of a nice haunted place, like a house,
I know one place.
message me on Facebook, and because we'll definitely looking for really good places. Because cemeteries sometimes aren't that great.
Why is that?
Well, sometimes you can hear the traffic going.
Oh,
by.
I see. Right. So it's not the best
but
place
also
for
cemeteries
audible
aren't necessarily
because that's not where they're
haunted.
buried.
Yeah,
it's not where they die.
Yeah,
right.
So exactly, and we've been to places of murders. We've been to famous ghost places, and we got nothing.
Really?
So if anybody listening, you live in a house that's haunted, or you know of a place that's haunted, just message me on Facebook, and we'll do a ghost session there.
We're going to spin some music from Cadillac Bill. When we return, we'll talk more about the show, and we'll hear some of these audio clips that you're referring to. We're going to spin some music from, I guess this would be your last release, Cadillac Bill and the Creeping Bent, and a song called Roswell, New Mexico.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about the song, aside from the fact that it's about Roswell, New Mexico.
Well, this song is actually on our episode 10. We did episode 10. It's not been aired yet. With Jack Pedler. The whole episode's all about UFOs.
Oh, cool.
It's about the possible existence of dragons and UFOs. And this song is for the end credits of that. But this song's kind of about aliens and stuff.
Have you encountered any aliens on the show yet?
No, other than Jack Pedler.
Right. Folks, here's music from Cadillac Bill on 93.3 CFMU. 93.3 CFMU, music from Cadillac Bill and the Creeping Bent. Roswell, New Mexico, 3:35. Cadillac Bill in the studio with us talking about his Cadillac Bill show. You're able to see that on Cable 14 here in Hamilton, Ontario. Manolis, my special guest as well, co-hosting with me. As promised, you said that you were going to bring some goodies for us to hear, and we are going to tune in right now and do it. So if you want to set us up, I'm going to play it. So you let me know what
I brought was I isolated the audio from one of the Ghost Talk segments. This is Century Manor, the old turn-of-the-century mental asylum up on the mountain.
Right.
It's that old building right beside the new mental health center.
Right.
And what we probably should do is we play it.
And then we'll comment and we'll play it again? Just to let people hear it the first time.
Okay. No, let's do it the first time with my mic on so that I can... So after the voice happens...
Okay, but hang on. I'll need this.
Okay, so after the voice happens or the Spirit says something, I will say what the Spirit has said because I have no idea how this is going to sound. Because you see, on my episode, I got the subtitles and people can see exactly...
Is your headphones working? Can you hear your voice? Yeah?
All right.
Okay.
Folks, here we go. Here's the first one. Yeah, this sounds good.
Yeah, so this is Cheryl.
Hello, my name's Cheryl. We're here to see if we can contact anybody that used to be a resident at this location.
So that was the response, dead people.
Are you okay with me being here? Do you want me to leave?
That was a yes.
God, it said yes. Are we bothering you here?
Get out.
I'm thinking I hear something, but I can't tell what you're saying. Can you please repeat it?
Said go play. Make them stay, that was.
If there's somebody here, can you please give us
Now this is an interesting one.
or a name?
Did you hear that was suicide?
We're leaving now. Can you give me one last word before we leave? What was that?
Wow.
What was that?
Your name?
One more. That was I'm Samantha. So that was that. And the interesting thing was the suicide one, that didn't come out of the box. We didn't know. I didn't hear that until I was editing it. That audio was like it was standing right with us.
That's crazy.
That suicide was not coming out of the box, the ghost box.
So
wow.
the box recorded it, even though it was...
No, the camera recorded it.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was not a voice coming out of the... If you want to play it again, I don't know how much...
I was just going to suggest maybe we should play it again.
Yes, let's play it again.
And I won't say anything this time, but when you hear the suicide, it is not coming out of the box. It's like somebody standing right there.
We're going to do this again?
Yeah.
All right. Just loading up, and here we go.
Hello, my name's Cheryl. We're here to see if we can contact anybody that used to be a resident at this location. Are you okay with me being here? Do you want me to leave? Oh my God, it said yes. Are we bothering you here? I'm thinking I hear something, but I can't tell what you're saying. Can you please repeat it? If there's somebody here, can you please give us a word or a name? Well, we're leaving now. Can you give me one last word before we leave? What was that? Can you give me your name? That was odd.
Wow, that's crazy stuff. So what I kind of missed it. There was something right before the what's your name? Did he say something dead? Stay dead?
I said I'm dead.
I'm dead.
I'm dead, yeah. So that was pretty weird.
No kidding.
Pretty weird thing to say if you're a ghost, too.
And now, does Cheryl do this as part of
No,
you just basically roped her into doing it.
Well, she's totally into it, and she's not like a paranormal investigator or nothing like that. She's just got a regular job, and she's just interested in ghosts, just like most of us are interested in ghosts. And these ghost boxes are easy to use. I mean, anyone can use them.
Now, did you notice anything weird about it? Like, sometimes people are susceptible to that, to the spirits. Did you sense anything?
I'm not susceptible to them at all. I never see ghosts.
So if you were to talk and ask these questions, you don't think you'd get any response?
That's a really good question. I don't know. Cheryl is susceptible to that kind of thing. So I don't know if they come to and want to talk to her or not, or whether or not someone like me doing it, I'd get zero response. I have no idea.
Wow, that's crazy.
What about the ghosts attaching themselves to a person? Do you think that's possible? Like, do you think? Have you noticed anything? You've gone home and like.
No, nothing. No, nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why
take me back to that place.
I can see why they might want to attach themselves to Cheryl because she's so sweet, and so beautiful that they would want to hang around with her.
The ghosts want to date her.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they haven't seen the Cadillac Bill fridge or the contents inside, right?
No.
I mean, maybe...
That's right.
That's
absolutely right. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I think you're absolutely right there, Lou.
You want to play another clip?
Sure. Well, let's...
is there more ghosts?
Yeah, but let's not do another ghost one.
No.
I'll come back another time because I got these interviews as well.
Right.
So
which one would you like us to spin?
Well, the Robert Gordon one is 4 minutes. Is that a good time?
For sure. Robert Gordon's always a good time.
Yeah. You see, like I said, my show isn't about music, but I've interviewed Ginger St. James. Mm-hmm. She's an important part of the show. Mm-hmm. Robert Gordon, of course, when he was playing at the St. Hollywood. Tom Wilson, Anvil. Those are the bands. Mm-hmm. So I brought along the Robert Gordon interview.
So you're it's not about music, but it's definitely there's always music involved.
Very much so, because there's my music in there too, and
right,
and there's the Creeping Bent Orchestra. So it's a musical show, but it's not about music.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me, man. So tell us about the Robert Gordon interview. You came over to the St. Teenage Shed was playing with Robert Gordon that night.
Yeah.
And we got you in the back room, which we call the Laurie Yates photo studio. That's where she takes a lot of her pictures, in that back room.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, Robert Gordon even commented on how horrible it looked back then. I was like saying, hey, can we let's do it here? And she says... He said, not against that wall, that green wall. Well, I can't remember, but it was like, yeah, we had to move things around to make Robert
happy. Well, there you go. Okay, folks, so this is Cadillac Bill interviewing Robert Gordon.
Yeah.
October 2013.
You got it. Let's listen.
Yeah, let's tune in. When does it come in? Oh, hold on a second here. Let's try this again.
It's sounding great so far.
Okay.
So I'm right now at This Ain't Hollywood, and I'm here with probably one of my favorite rock and roll singers. He's from New York City, and he's right now in Hamilton with us. It's Robert Gordon. Sir, thank you.
It's my pleasure being here, man. How you doing?
Great. I saw the movie Loveless. Great film. How did you feel about that? Was that were you proud of that?
I thought the outtakes were real good, man. Actually, they had some good people, and Catherine Bigelow, who went on to be an Academy Award winner, Oscar winner, for the producing and directing, and of course that was Willem Dafoe's first movie too. So it was an interesting project. I'm not an actor, I'll be the first to tell you, but I had fun doing the music for it.
Yeah, because you were great in it. I can tell you that for sure.
Oh, geez.
So I wanted to ask you about New York City back in the 70s, because of course you were right there in the scene of all that time.
I was friends with Johnny Thunders and Talking Heads, and I loved television, and Richard Hell, all of them, man. We all, Blondie, we all hung out and rehearsed in the same place, so it was a pretty good scene, man.
Because you started out like a punk rock singer, basically. I forgot the name of the band, actually.
Well, I'll tell you, I'd just gone through a divorce, and I was angry at that time. So, lyrically, the Tough Darts was a perfect venue for me at that time. It was a bit sadistic, but it was one of the best. I think one of the premier groups at that time.
Absolutely. And then, of course, you went on to basically. The whole rock and roll thing. You had Anton Fig on drums, who was actually David Letterman's drummer, and you worked with Chris Spedding and
right.
And
back then I was working with, of course, Link Ray, who I'm very proud to say has just been nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, about time.
Yeah, well, better late than never. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I've worked with great players, Danny Gatton. And God rest his soul too, and of course Chris came after Link, and he was doing a lot of studio work in the UK, and he was ready to come to the States, and it just worked out. And we've been working together for about 30 years now. We still work together.
Wow. I also wanted to ask you, the music industry now, all the kids now and the bands now, what are your views on that? Well,
the music scene is totally different now. I mean, it's all
it is, yeah.
It's all downloading, and the internet is it's good on one hand. Anybody can make a record and get it out there, but I think the days of the big record companies, and it was something different. You had to tour to actually support a record, and I think that's something that people miss today,
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And what about things like American Idol? How do you feel about that? Is that...
Hey, listen, man. I mean, anything that gets people out there, I think is great. I mean, I wish he was around when I was coming up,
Imagine if you went on it back in the day. You would have, won.
Maybe I'll go on it now, man. Show them a thing or two.
Because I literally tell everyone, I mean, you probably, I would say, got the best voice I've ever heard.
Well, thank you, sir.
And it's almost like somebody like one of those crooners from the 40s doing rock and roll, and that's what's so great, because you've got class and you've got that sort of crooner kind of voice, and you're doing rock and roll, and that's so wonderful.
Well, I appreciate that. I've been doing this for a long time. I started when I was 15 years old, doing my first public performances, and I'm still doing it, believe it or not. I'm lucky to be here. I've lost a lot of friends along the way, and it's just I'm just happy that people still come out to see me, man. Yeah. Great to meet you. All right. Rock on, man.
There you have it. Interview with Cadillac Bill and Robert Gordon. Spoken like a pro, eh?
Oh, my interviewing was not very good. I was nervous. I was very nervous.
But the thing is like, when you're talking to people that are interesting, it doesn't matter how nervous you are or what your comfort level's like. These guys always feed you good information,
he does.
Right?
He was very good at that, and it was one of the first interviews I did, and hopefully I'm going to be a bit better as I go along with this. But he was fascinating, and it was good, and that's episode 5. That's on YouTube right now, with actually one of the ghost segments too. So that's you can actually see him playing with Teenage Head. And you can also see Sammy Squid on that episode.
Sammy Squid's classic. He's worried about his hair.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I think that's when he was Cousin Paolo.
Cousin Paolo. That guy's a lunatic. The man's a mental case.
Lunatic, that's not a word that doesn't get used enough.
No, that's Sammy Squid. He's mad. He's great.
He's a one of a kind, isn't he?
Yeah.
The other cool thing about your show is that you kind of go into different parts of the city that are hosting different things. You went to a car show, and you were kind enough to point out how lovely these cars were that had seats.
What's that?
Seats. You're talking about, it's like ashtrays. You remember seats that had the ashtrays on
yes,
them,
that's
right?
The two-door Cadillac that had 5 lighters in it.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was, right. 5
lighters in a 2-door. And actually, the 1959 Cadillacs came standard. They came with a bar in them. You were allowed to drink and drive back then. And not only were you allowed to drink and drive, but the Cadillacs came with a bar.
Wow.
The glove compartment would open up, and there would be this magnetic Mickey that would attach to the dashboard, and then it'd have these magnetic little silver tumbler glasses with a Cadillac emblem on it.
Now, wouldn't it have been amazing if you could go to a gas station, fill up your tank, and also fill up your Mickey?
Well, you certainly could. You could literally have bottles of whatever in that.
That's so crazy. How times have changed.
Yeah.
Look at how Manolis is really impressed with our interview.
No, I was actually thinking about having a bar in my car. I was looking out for the distance.
Well, you've kind of got a bit of a soft drink collection on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, my car's a mess.
Yeah,
everything. I don't believe in littering.
Well, I know. Well, that's good that you keep it all in your car.
I just eventually get it to a garbage can at a gas station. It's just when I have the energy to move it from the car to the garbage can. In the meantime, as long as it's mobile in my car, it's not touching the ground. Therefore, it's not littering.
So that means that's a good point. As long as the car doesn't touch the ground, the second it touches the ground, you're going to be slapped with tickets. You're going to be slapped with littering.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Don't ever get a flat tire. Slapped with a littering.
Get the jack out. Hurry.
Your show is also great because, you've always had a fascination with raccoons and squirrels.
Yeah, all animals, most animals. So we've got the Frenchie and the dead squirrel.
Now, where did that happen?
Well, Mike Holler and I were going to go off filming that day. And there I come out of the car, and there's this dead squirrel right there on the road. And Mike is just coming back from walking his dog. And I figure I'll turn the camera on and I'll say, hey, Mike, show Frenchie the squirrel. Let's see what she does. And then from then on, I just ran after Frenchie, filming her with the dead squirrel in her mouth.
Frenchie had total possession of this. You could tell, no one was going to take that.
She was
Frenchie's a dog, right?
She was a dog. No, that's Mike's wife. Yes, it's Mike's dog.
Yeah. Frenchie's an animal.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike's sex is the dog.
Okay.
Yeah. So the funny thing about it is that it's just like, it's something that's so common, but a lot of times it's just not captured on film.
That's right, because Frenchie, the beagle, went off and buried it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that was a cool thing. So I wanted to see what she would do with the dead squirrel. I figured she'd go off and eat it somewhere.
Right.
Oh, no.
Gave it a burial.
She went and dug a hole in Mike's flower garden.
For storage? To get to later?
I don't know why she was burying it, but Mike told me she was probably going to bury it.
Now, have you ever thought about contacting Cheryl to see if she could talk to the dead squirrel?
Oh, hey, that's a good idea,
That's
Lou.
that's another show.
Wow. Little beep, 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 cheep, 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 chip, 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 chip. I don't know what squirrels do. They go, geek, 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 geek.
I don't know.
Beep, beep,
They
beep.
kind of scare me because I feel like at any moment they could just kill me if they really wanted to.
You are a wreck. You really are.
He's a mess,
a
man.
mental wreck.
You have no idea. We're not. You know what? We're not entirely sure what happened.
My dad used to catch raccoons. Still does, actually. My dad catches raccoons. 86 years old.
For what?
Because he doesn't like them in his backyard, so he has cages and he catches them and then he takes them out miles away and lets them go.
Well, that's good. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Didn't you guys have one in the back of your van for a while?
No, but that's how I found out about it because I went to put my suitcase in the back of the van. He's taking me to the airport, and I opened it up and there's a raccoon right there. So I had to put my raccoon beside the suitcase and listen to this raccoon go up the link, going the whole time. And then I had to get rid of the raccoon with my dad before I went to fly in a plane.
So, but his whole idea was if you move the raccoon far enough, it's not going to come back.
Yeah.
Right.
See, what I do is I go out far away, I capture raccoons and bring them back and put them up in my attic or let them go under my porch.
Right.
So way they take off?
I find a little crawl space in the attic so they can live in the attic and or under crawl space under the house.
Yeah,
so
then they hate it and then they have to split.
My neighborhood.
That's funny. You've got 10 episodes already.
Well, we've actually shot 15 episodes.
Wow.
So we've got right now it's on Cable 14 every Sunday, and the first few months, and still are doing. They're doing one episode every 2 weeks, just because they have to go over my episodes and make sure everything is decent and everything. But soon it's going to be one episode a week. And they're also going to be putting it on Wednesdays as well. What's the most unusual situation you've had so far as a television host on your show in terms of the experiences and people? I know you met those two fine ladies that were dancing at the car show. Oh, that was great. It's actually the episode that's coming out this Sunday is where I interview the Royal Canadian Sea Cadets. A bunch of 13-year-olds, all paramilitary, they're in a marching band, they're sea cadets. And that was about the most uncomfortable thing, because there's literally 30 of them standing completely at attention, and the general or whatever she is saying, okay, go ahead, interview them. And there's these 30 of them literally staying at attention. Now I've got to try to make them feel comfortable, and I got to feel comfortable. And as soon as I started talking to them, they were all really cool and awesome, but it was pretty uncomfortable at first. And then those two ladies have a couple dogs as well, Zach and Stitches. That's actually a different person at that car show. See, I'm watching the show. Wow. Yeah. Stitches and Zach. Yeah. Almost every segment I do, I try to film a dog. Well, you're a dog-friendly person. It's weird. I don't like owning dogs. You just like filming them. I find them entertaining for my episodes. So literally every segment, there is a dog somewhere
doing something.
You know what I always love, and I always fall for it. I love a dog chasing after its tail. I could watch it for hours. Me too. Just a dog going round and round and round trying to chase his tail. Remember like you were doing the other day?
I remember that. but I caught it.
You were doing that?
Yeah.
We got to see that.
Yeah, that would be a good episode.
That's on YouTube.
No.
3:58. You can still stick around for a while?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take care of some business. We're going to spin the MP3 of the week, courtesy of our friend Rob Sweeney in a few seconds. Also to let you know that Terry Wilkins is going to be joining us via telephone. Terry, who used to be a one-time member of Rough Trade as well as Big Sugar, has a new roots band called the Choir Singers, or Choir Sinners. Sorry, they're playing tomorrow night with Lori Yates and her drugstore Cowboys and Jillian Nicola. Sorry, I've been always saying Jillian Nicola, who was nominated for a Hamilton Music Award in 2013. It's happening tomorrow night at the Saint. So, folks, if you're into really cool alt country, my God, Lori Yates does it better than no one. So make sure you go down and check out the show, as well as Dead End Sessions, a newer band from Hamilton, Ontario, featuring Adam Plasko, who is a son of the infamous cue ball winner. It's what? It's hot. It is. Yeah. His band Dead End Sessions is going to be here as well, and we're going to continue talking to Cadillac Bill and finding out more about his show. As you heard him say, you could see it Wednesday or Sundays, right? At what time?
Yeah, 10:30 Sundays, 10:30 p.m.
And then on Wednesdays, do you have a scheduled time yet? That's going to
be in July. It'll be at 10 on Wednesdays.
Now, where's the actual studio where you guys have your intro, where you're sitting behind a car?
That's in my house.
Is that where it's
right
it's
in
done?
My basement? Yeah. Oh yeah. We're even more pathetic than Wayne's World, because we're all in our 40s.
Right, yeah, never leaving the basement.
Yeah, we're literally in our basement.
Oh, that's fantastic. I wasn't too sure if that was actually done at Cable 14.
No,
but that's done in your basement.
Everything is done right there.
And where'd you get the car front?
From a scrapyard. I went up looking for Cadillac parts, and there it was. So.
Manolis, he's got the front of a car, which is his desk.
No way!
And I got rear view mirrors on either side of the desk. That way I can talk to the creeping band behind me.
Right, and you can see what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they're not going
like exactly.
this. Yeah, right.
That's genius.
Well, I don't know how genius it is.
Well, it is to Manolis.
Thank you. I suppose.
Do you have a camera? Do you get a camera focused on the rear view mirrors?
No, unfortunately we don't, and we should.
That'd be cool for a shot here.
We should.
Okay, folks, we're going to take care of the MP3 of the week. Our friend Rob Sweeney writes today, hello, Lou. Satch Arnold recorded this ditty sometime in the late 50s, and it was released on Lewis Records. The single is a bit of a rarity, but this comes from a T-Bird Party, a fine rhythm and blues compilation that can be found in fine record stores. Cheers, Robbie, we are indebted to you as always. Folks, this is your MP3 of the week, courtesy of Rob Sweeney and 93.3 CFMU.
What a good night.
I'm on the rock. Oh, me. I'm
93.3 CFMU. Folks, that is your MP3 of the week, courtesy of our friend Rob Sweeney. We're trying to get in contact with Terry Wilkins, so please stay tuned. What we're going to do, though, is spin some more music from Cadillac Bill while we try to hook up with Terry. Yes, what were you going to say?
Let's play not that CD. You want to play Kira?
Sure. Yeah. Why don't you tell us about this young lady?
This is, she's 12. Well, she was 12 when she wrote this, and she is on my first episode 1 on YouTube. It's the one with Ginger St. James, but I figured my season should start off with me premiering this Hamilton girl called Kira. This is a song she wrote. She wrote it with another 12-year-old. One of the most beautiful, sophisticated songs I've ever heard in any age of people writing. And this is her, and I made a little rock video of her singing it, and you can see it on my show.
It's amazing that she's so mature for 12 years old.
And she's literally, this is her playing the piano, playing the guitar, singing it. She wrote this, and this is the audio. This is a track 1, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Is it track 1? Yeah, okay, track 1. And the song is called?
Stand Strong.
By, what's her name?
12-year-old Kira.
And
Kira, yeah, I'm not going to give her a last name.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, she's Hamilton girl.
And in the meantime, while you listen to this, we'll hook up with Terry Wilkins on 93.3 CFMU. 93.3 CFMU, a debut for this 12-year-old young lady by the name of Kira. Special thanks to Cadillac Bill for sharing it with us. Man, when you hear someone as mature as this young lady at 12 years old, we're six.
I know.
We're 6 years old.
I know.
Folks, on the phone with me, as promised, is Terry Wilkins. Terry, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Lou.
Welcome to the show. Say hi to Cadillac Bill as well as my co-host Manolis.
Hey,
Cadillac Bill. How you doing?
Hey. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know what? I showed Lori Yates this clip of you from about 1981 on Second City TV.
Oh yeah.
And I think you guys were on Preteen World.
I think you're right.
And it was hilarious. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm a big Second City fanatic, so watching it was so great. But I just wanted to personally just ask you a couple of questions, being a big fan. How long were you guys in the actual studio recording that? And did you guys record it live or was it lip-synced?
When we did Second City?
Yeah.
Gee, let me just go back 32 years. Mike, you know what? I would guess that we were lip-syncing.
It was, eh? Okay.
I would guess that.
Because I know Robert Gordon, when Robert Gordon did his, they played it live.
You know what? I don't actually remember. Now, that said, usually I remember everything, but I don't remember that one. You know what it was? Mm-hmm. With all my grinning and bearing it on that TV show, we had been on the road, and I had a messed up back, and I was in actual fact in agony, so my brain has edited out that section of my life.
And lucky us, we're bringing it back to you.
There you go.
My condolences. I know that one of Big Sugar's members had just passed away.
Yes, although I'm not sure I would describe him as a Big Sugar member, although he did indeed do work with Big Sugar. Rafa Dean we're talking about.
Yes.
The greatest reggae drummer in Canada for many, 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 many years. A lion, beautiful singer, a wonderful man.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
Indeed.
You've been involved in music for quite a while, and it's interesting to see that you've kind of went into sort of the roots genre. Was this something that was always in your blood, or was it something that you felt that it was just now the right time to do it, Terry?
All right, so the 3rd of June this year was my 47th anniversary since I started being a professional musician.
Wow.
And the band that I started with was called the Starving Wild Dogs, and it was in Sydney, Australia, and we played electrified jug band music, Chicago blues, rock and roll, R&B. So roots was my thing. I spent a few years in that scene. Then I got bounced into a situation where I went to do a concert with one of those bands, and a famous band was headlining that we were opening for, and their bass player was sick, and I filled in, and then they asked me to join the band. That band left Australia, came to Toronto. I spent a few years bouncing around with that band. Then I joined Lighthouse. Then I joined 2 spin-offs of Lighthouse, and that took me up to 1976, at which point I heard David Wilcox and the Teddy Bears on a Wednesday, and by Friday I was asked to audition for the band. And since David Wilcox and the Teddy Bears back in 76, I've pretty much only played roots music. Any music that I've played that has been like successful on the radio wasn't because it was trying to be pop music. It was just popular, like High School Confidential.
Yeah.
I mean, Rough Trade was a rock and roll band. When I joined it, we were a street band. We weren't signed. We were playing for the people.
Do you mind telling us what the Australian band was that you were in?
It was called Flying Circus.
Okay, I remember Flying Circus.
We played McMaster, and we played all those high school dances and Grimsby and all around.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you never went back. You just stayed in Canada. So there was obviously something that really appealed to you to have you think that,
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of home. I kind of like being a foreigner. It's all good. I got to do things here.
You're still part of the Commonwealth?
I'm still part of the Commonwealth, exactly.
Right. So tell us in regards to the new band, the Choir Centers.
The Choir. Choir.
Or the Sinners Choir. I'm saying the choir Sinners, sorry. The Sinners Choir.
The Sinners Choir. Okay, so we started last November, and it consists of myself, a drummer, Adam Warner, and a guitar player, Adam Biacolicino.
Okay.
So I'm 66. Adam Warner, the drummer, is 40, and Adam Biacolicino, the guitar player, is 24. So we cover a lot of territory.
Wow.
And it started 4 years ago when I got teamed up with the kid Adam Biacolicino at a Grossman Sunday Night Jam. And
are they still doing those at Grossman's?
You bet.
Okay. Cool.
Absolutely. Strong. And basically, he was then like 20 years of age or 21 or something like that. And for whatever reason, the stars aligned, but he and I could play together like crazy from literally the downbeat of the first song. So he and I have been working together for the last 4 years. I've been pulling him in to sub in bands that I play with that are mostly roots Americana bands. And then last November we found Adam Warner, the drummer, and as soon as we got him, then the first thing we did was we sat in my rehearsal room and we played and sang The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. And we realized that straight out of the box, we had a contending 3-part vocal. So what we have is 3 singers, 3 writers, and a big vocal sound, and the band jams like demons.
It must be refreshing for you as a musician just to kind of work with different demographical artists.
To tell you the truth, I have been working with youth since the 70s. The first young'un I worked with was Colin Linden when he was 16.
Wow.
And I worked with Colin for quite a few years, and then, Gordy was 20. Gordy Johnson was like 23 when I met him. And so I've had this pattern of something that I never actually pursue in any way, but is a repeating pattern of young'uns coming into my life. And in fact, I probably play with more young musicians than I do my contemporaries.
What's your scope on the whole music industry now? You've been involved for 47 years. It seems like there's a big onus to do things yourself versus waiting for some sort of industry recognition. Is this a good thing?
Yes. Well, all right. In my world, yes. But I've also had pretty much over 20 years of pretty arm's-length relationship with the music industry. I never saw anything that really appealed to me about it, and apparently they didn't see that much that appealed to them in me, which was fine. I didn't really care because really I consider myself a roots musician, and they don't care about that kind of business. And so what I concentrated on was being a musician, being a player, being out there on the street, making music.
And one of the funny things is that I've often wondered, people that were in these sort of positions to make calls on people's careers, or maybe, people that were in positions to potentially make a person's career, how often they made decisions not so much based on, objective reasons, but subjective reasons.
Yeah.
Not being able to understand a great garage band, not being able to understand like a good metal band or whatever, genre of music.
Yes. Well, when I was first in the music business, it was controlled by A&R men, and they were the bright lights, and they were the guys out on the street, and they knew music, and the music was at its most healthy. And then in the 70s, the accountants took over,
right?
And then the lawyers took over,
right?
And then the corporations took over.
And you know what's really funny is I think, the accountants only had like maybe 100 records in their collection. The lawyers probably had about 50 records in their collection. So it just started getting smaller and smaller, right? Just this past weekend, I work in Toronto, and this past weekend I had an opportunity of meeting Lee Jackson, who was part of the Checkmates, an old band with John Finley. 5 of the 6 guys ended up becoming a band called Rhinoceros afterwards. So
I remember them well.
When I was talking to Lee Jackson, one thing that he had mentioned, because we were talking about this documentary on Bravo about Yonge Street and about the 60s and about Yorkville, and just about how there was such a frenzy of excitement and interest, because as soon as someone was like new on the scene, people were always kind of interested in checking him out to see what a new band was going to bring. But one of the things that he had mentioned is that he said that in today's world, there's just hundreds of bands every week that are new. So he thinks that part of the detriment is that, there's not a decent filtering system. You don't want to stop people from listening to music, but there's just so many bad bands that are filtering their music, or not, their music is not being filtered. It's just getting out there. So it's getting hard to be recognized, because there's just such an abundance of music.
You know what? I'm not sure if I agree with that.
Okay, I was just going to say, is there ever a point where there may be just too much music?
Not really. I mean, there's always been a lot of music, and 90% of it has always been crap. Mm-hmm. And the 10% that's left, you don't have time to listen to in a lifetime. I mean, there's more good music than you can listen to. And the fact that there's 9 times as much bad music means nothing, because you don't have to listen to bad music. You can just concentrate on listening to good music. Now, and you'll never run out.
Is there any sort of like game plan in regards to what the Sinners Choir is going to do with their music? Are you guys looking at releasing a record soon?
Yes, we are. We're actually just organizing the logistics of when we're going to go in. We're going to cut 4 tunes at a time. We're not looking for a record deal. We're working on being popular, not successful. It's just slightly different.
Well, the funny thing again about it is that everybody's responsibilities and priorities change as their lives change as well. And I think a big reality check is that when you see the industry and you see the status of the industry right now, do you really want to be involved in it? It's almost enough incentive to want to do it yourself.
I guess. I mean, you know what? I think you always kind of have to do it yourself anyway, really. I mean, when it comes down to it, anytime that form... Oh.
Well, sorry about that. I don't know what happens. Go ahead.
Anytime that... See, once things become formularized, and then people think, you know what? All we need to do is get that video on blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. And people apply formula, and they're doing all the things that they're supposed to do. Whereas, in fact, working on a one-to-one direct relationship between a band and an audience, servicing the audience, and building your buzz straight from the audience. And in this day and age, there are no record deals to have. It doesn't matter. It's over. It's finished.
Right. Hamilton as a city has been really lucky in being able to get people like Laurie Yates to move here and just really strengthen our music community. Another great thing that she's done is she's also kind of expanded her insight and being able to just even on an instructional basis host these songwriting workshops, which have been great.
Following that, yeah.
And,
fantastic.
And the other cool thing is that she's been such a big sister in terms of always doing these really cool projects of having a bunch of female artists from Hamilton from all sorts of different genres coming up and doing these shows. And because of Laurie, it makes you realize how many amazing musicians and female musicians there are in the city. When did you first meet Laurie?
Oh. Rang Tango.
Right. A great band.
Great band, a really great band, a very exciting band. I loved Rang Tango. So that's where we hooked up.
I remember seeing Rang Tango through a friend of mine who said, you got to see this chick. You've got to see this front this lead singer. The front person of this band is absolutely amazing. And I remember thinking, you know, there was just such a, she was so fiery, but yet it's that voice too, right? So it was like the perfect combination of everything.
Yep. Yes. My Libran sister.
Your which?
My Libran sister.
Oh. That's funny.
We're both Libras.
Looking forward to hosting your show tomorrow, Terry.
Fantastic. We are very, very excited to be coming to Hamilton. And
maybe we should take you house shopping too, and then you can live in Hamilton. Have you ever thought about it?
You know what? More than once.
Time is now.
Maybe. I'm not sure about that one. But I'm you know, I go down there and play with Jesse O'Brien and Harrison and that gang,
right,
on a fairly regular basis. So I've now got more of a feel for Hamilton than I've had in many years, and I see it as being a very, very healthy place artistically. And basically, what we'd like to do with Sinners Choir is establish a beachhead in Hamilton, so we can come back every 3 months and have people waiting for us, if you know what I mean.
Maybe Cadillac Bill will have you on his television show.
You never know.
Yeah,
that sounds good. Sure.
As we say goodbye to you, I'm going to spin some music from the Flying Burrito Brothers. And we'll look forward to getting some music from your band so we can spin here on the show.
What? As soon as we get anything, I will send it to you.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for being kind and taking some time out of your afternoon to talk to us.
Okay, Lou.
Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, Terry, and we'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Thank you kindly.
Thank you. Folks, here's the Flying Burrito Brothers on 93.3 CFMU. .93.3 CFMU. Music there from the Flying Burrito Brothers. Christine's tune. Special thanks to, to Terry Wilkins for calling in. Bill, you're out of here soon as well?
Yeah. Excellent seeing you, Lou. At
yeah,
CFMU.
you as well. You're going to come back?
Oh, I'm going to come back. As soon as the show is going to be on Wednesdays, which will be in about a month, I'll come back.
Just hold on. Just taking care of some business here. And voila, there we are. Folks, if you want to see Cadillac Bill's show, you can tune in Sunday nights on Cable 14 at 10:30 to see the Cadillac Bill's show with an interesting trip around Hamilton, Ontario.
Yeah, and in the meantime, it's on YouTube 24 hours a day. Imagine that, 24 hours a day. It's convenience, at your convenience.
I can watch
people.
it like at 6 in the morning if I want to?
Yes, Manolis, you can do that.
Thank you.
As soon as you get home?
24 hours a day.
As soon as I get home? I can drink rye and watch it?
In the privacy of your own bathroom. You can see my show in the privacy of your own bathtub.
Bring your laptop, lay it on your lap as you're on the toilet, and enjoy.
We got ghosts, dead squirrels,
running dogs,
musicians, fun stuff. Stuff for the whole family. Ages from about infants and toddlers all the way up to about 80-year-olds.
Who are just older toddlers.
Yeah.
Right?
So everyone will enjoy.
Congratulations on the show, Bill. And thanks for popping in, and we'll see you real soon again.
I'll talk to you later. Thanks, Lou.
Dead End Sessions next, right after this.
Cheerio.
93.3 CFMU, music there from Cadillac Bill and the Creeping Bent Leather Pants. 4:32 exactly in the studio with us are three members of Dead End Sessions. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves. And close to the mic, please, so you'll have to...
Yeah, I'm Troy. I play the bass.
My name is Adam Platsko. I play the drums.
And I'm Nate Waldes, and I play guitar and I sing.
Congratulations on your release, officially coming out Saturday.
Yes, sir, it is. Thank you.
How long has the band been together?
As the four of us with a singer, I think now it's been about just over 2 years.
And prior?
Prior, like a long time, like another 8 years probably before that. We had other singers, but no one else really worked for us. We only had them for a gig or two, and then kind of dropped them and looked for someone else. And finally, we found someone that was perfect for the band, Nate.
How did you guys meet?
We placed an ad on Kijiji, actually.
Oh, is that right? Hey, wow.
Nate, we had a jam at Lou's Soundcheck, and it was really good, and it was just, we clicked instantly, and Nate was just awesome.
Now, interestingly enough, the gentleman that I was talking to a few minutes ago, Terry Wilkins, was basically saying that, for him and the fact that he started a new band, and even though he's been involved in music for over 40 years, but his two bandmates, one is in his 40s and the other one is in his 20s, their whole concept in terms of what they're getting involved in musically, it could be a little bit more different, where there's no real goal in terms of being able to, hit it to get label representation or even the attention of industry reps. How about you guys? Like, what's the mandate?
Yeah, we're about the same. We're not trying to attract any attention. We're just putting out tunes that we like to hear, and we like recording, we like playing live, we like networking with other bands, and that's really our main goal right now.
So is this more like a hobby to you guys, primarily?
Yeah, I would say so, but something that we take really seriously and hope to spend a little more time doing, and eventually maybe involve it into a career.
How do you guys see the whole climate of the music industry? Because you guys are younger guys. Like, when I was a younger guy, people that were in bands always wanted to, there was always some sort of hope that, because like the industry were still nurturing bands, where you'd have a band that would like get a label, or a label that would put a band's record out for 3 or 4 releases, and they would nurture some sort of working relationship like that. Nowadays, that doesn't even exist anymore. Like, you may have one record that's represented by your label, and then it's gone, because they're going to pick another flavor of the week. Like, does that, do you guys ever talk about that kind of stuff, or does any of that stuff just enter the band's psyche?
Well, I can definitely, agree to the flavor of the week. Basically, when you're putting out the quality product that, was brought out at these times, where the labels would back you for long periods of times, it was worth backing. But now everyone's just trying to have such a weird sound, and it sounds good, mind you, but they're losing the heart content of it, just trying to catch people's attention more than actually digging the music.
What were you guys trying to do in terms of capturing a dead end session sound? Were there bands that were sort of interest to you guys for influence?
I'd like to think we were trying to kind of craft our own sound entirely. There's influences from various bands and various genres, but we like to keep it really open for the most part.
Manolis?
Yeah, you guys got a new CD, your CD release party Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
Saturday at This Ain't Hollywood.
Yep.
And I'm still a big fan of, like, when a band has a CD or makes the CD. I don't want it's like an MP3 and take it home and do like that way, or I don't care if they want to put one with the CD or with the vinyl.
You want a hard copy?
But I'm old school, and am I a dying breed, or is that still a thing? Like, I think you guys probably sell more at the shows, but is it still important for a band to have a CD?
Absolutely. Like having the hard copy was so cool to us, and just, the shrink wrap, and we have it kind of set up like a vinyl sleeve too, so that's got a really good feel to it. But just opening that box, like, as a band who's never released anything before, that case of CDs and the smell that came out of it and everything, that was huge.
Yeah,
like,
that's important for sure.
It's new car smell.
Yeah,
when did you guys know it was time to go into the studios? Like, I mean, bands sometimes can kind of overwork stuff because they try to be perfectionists. When did you guys know it was time to go into the studio?
We sort of just jumped right in as soon as we had a bunch of songs down and really tight. We wanted to get them out as soon as we could, because we'd been together even playing instrumentally and with other singers throughout the years, and now that we finally feel comfortable with our new singer here, we'd like to get it out right away.
I'd like to say that it took about a year of us playing together as a full band, playing shows and just learning the songs. And every show, every practice, your songs change a little bit and they become more and more yours.
And I guess just with every practice, you guys are developing more of your own sound too, right? Do you guys always encourage experiments in your music, or do you guys try to keep it, sort of within within reason.
There are no boundaries. We and you'll hear it in this CD. You'll hear it in our next CD. Songs. We change genre mid-song, stuff like that. There's no thing holding us back. We're just going to play whatever we want to play.
Yeah. So in the first song that we're going to hear shortly, when does the polka come in?
Towards the end.
Yeah. When the credits are rolling, right? Yeah. Where'd you guys record it?
Okay, so we recorded this in a loft of a barn in Dunnville, Ontario.
Okay.
Really? Our good friend Mitch Bowden.
I know Mitch Bowden from Chore.
And,
geez, I haven't seen Mitch in years.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Great singer, too.
Absolutely. So he took us in and... it was really cool just hanging out on the couch in the loft of the barn. It was in the middle of nowhere, so no distractions.
So you guys didn't play, you just hung out on the couch and it
there was some
magically
playing
happened.
Involved, yeah.
So how long were you guys there?
I think it was about 10 or 12 hours of studio time total. Mm-hmm. I think we went about 3 or 4 separate times for about 3 or 4 hours, and a lot of the stuff we got done really quick. Like the drums, like every song is pretty much just one track right off done.
Wow.
And then the guitars, there's obviously more than one track for a lot of the songs, so it took a lot longer for the guitar and the vocals, but the bass and the drums were done really quick too.
Well, obviously that's a sign of a band that's been very well rehearsed as well going into the session.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't do a click track or anything like that. Basically, it was almost like a live off the floor jam when we were recording this. But so Adam could hear my guitar in his ear as he was recording his drum track. You weren't recording my guitar, but
that's not something.
We had like a that core vibe,
organic.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of bands don't do that as much as would you say, or is that?
Yeah, no, a lot of it's very, so that way if you make a mistake, you can go back and correct it digitally,
very easily. Too.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't want to use a click track?
I think it was more difficult to use a click track for us, just because our songs they vary in the tempo and they change a lot.
Gotcha,
so it's just
of course.
Meter changes,
right?
It would have took a lot more time.
Was there more pressure to not make mistakes then?
Yeah, somewhat. There's a little bit more pressure not to make the mistakes, but at the same time, it was just kind of it just felt like a jam, really, with the headphones on playing.
It was very laid back.
We're going to spin some music, a song called Rice. You want to tell us a little bit about the song while I set it up?
A cool fact about the song is about a year ago, we had a gig where we played without our other guitar player that's not here, Jeff Benning. And we decided to make all of our songs kind of just like reggae, make them a little easier rock. And this is the one song that we kind of we stuck with how we changed it, and we kept it it's a reggae, hard rock kind of mix in between.
Wow.
It's really cool.
New music here from Dead End Sessions on 93.3 CFMU. .93.3 CFMU. You heard music there of Dead End Sessions from their soon-to-be-released EP, Slam Funk. Saturday night at the St. Hollywood. A song called Rice. What's the song about? It can't be about the actual food, is it?
That was just a kind of, how the yesterday started off as scrambled eggs kind of thing, and the, it was basically like that kind of a story, whereas the rice was just the first word that came out of my mouth, and it kind of stayed. And then the other lyrics, I was writing them scrambling on a napkin, in the studio last minute. But do
you guys put a lot of emphasis towards lyrics?
Normally, yes.
Yeah. What inspires you to write lyrically?
Anything really.
Yeah.
And that's what our songs. None of our songs are your typical. Subject matter, I would say, of a rock song. They're not too much about, the sex and the
heartbreak.
Yeah, heartbreak. No love songs. That's the rule.
Is it because it's hard to write or is it just because it's more?
I think it is. I think it is too easy.
Or is it something too? Really? I think
anybody can. Everybody has a broken heart, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
at one point.
But I think what makes it difficult is just having to write about things that are so emotional too, right?
Oh yeah, emotional content is definitely there. It's just. We steer away from the lovey-dovey relationship.
Right. But do you guys have a problem writing about heartbreak and when you're getting dumped? That always makes it.
Maybe not in a literal sense. You would hear it through metaphor.
Right.
And,
metaphors are good.
So you might not recognize it as a I got dumped kind of song, but the tones are there. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Laying in this pool with no water.
Exactly.
I've been dumped.
As deep as it gets.
No, but it's funny because, like, there's always the two sides of the coin. There's certain bands that don't put any emphasis towards their lyrics because it's just a matter of just filling music with words, and then there's other people that are really trying to either send out a message, or at least because it's more of a personal thing, they just really take a lot of pride in the lyrical content, right?
Yeah, I mean, these guys were an instrumental band for a number of years, so a lot of their songs are really heavy on the instrumental parts, which is really cool. And I came from a singer-songwriter background, me and acoustic guitar, so where lyrics would have a big importance and vocal melody and stuff like that. So we didn't really make any sacrifices. We just kind of
met in the middle,
met halfway, and so you have.
So did the overall sound of the band change because of this sort of? A
little bit, but definitely for
chemistry.
The better. It kind of it kind of brought the structure together a bit. When we were writing instrumental songs, it was again, you're writing without the lyrics. You're kind of making everything constantly interesting and always changing, that kind of thing. There's no not a lot of repetition, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it can be important when you're trying to structure a really good hit song kind of thing.
Do you guys go with those sort of ideas of structuring a song to potentially be a hit? Do you guys think about it that far, or?
I don't think we write it to be a hit. We just, if it's something we like, it's a part that we enjoy and it sounds good, we keep it. If it's not sounding good, we get rid of it.
Right.
We try to avoid the boundaries of so-called structure in the music, for sure.
How do you guys feel about, just the climate of music here in Hamilton? Obviously, a lot of people are putting a lot of emphasis towards it. And I think, in a way, I think we're just trying to not so much brainwash, but convince everyone else that Hamilton is a musical city. How important do you think music is in this city? And do you think that the city really represents music in comparison to other cities in this country?
Well, Hamilton's a very unique vibe. We've got the factories, we've got the nicer end of town, we've got the slums, you've got a lot of different things there coagulating, and so you got people coming from all different sides of the globe, but it's a lot similar to what I noticed, like Seattle and that kind of stuff in the 90s. Like,
I'd agree with that.
A lot of underground stuff that's just right on the tip of breaking, I think. There's a lot of bands that are right on that edge that could really bring the city to the map. And
and I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that when you get bands like Monster Truck and the Arkells that are just, every interview, there's always a mention of Hamilton. It's not they're saying that they're a Toronto band. It's not that they're even saying a Canadian band. They definitely make reference to the city that they're from. And I think because of that, it opens opportunities, because other people who may be interested in, working with a band to pursue a career or a working relationship will pay attention to the city a little more. The Dirty Nil right now are another band that are getting a lot of attention.
And they're really good too.
What was your
I was in St. John's last weekend, and I just told someone I was from Hamilton. It's like, and the guy went, "Oh, the Arkells." That's the first thing he said to me. So I thought, that's cool.
And did you say no, Hamilton?
But it's good when bands do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the word's getting out, right?
Yeah.
You guys said earlier that this is a sort of something that you guys do for yourselves, but would you guys ever compromise yourselves in terms of taking it to the next level? Or, I think it's just so hard to keep it all intact and say, it's our way or the no way.
Okay. I'll feel this one. Meaning like, sacrificing.
Well, compromise, sacrifice.
It's all a label, if they asked us to do something, or.
Well, I guess the part B of my question, talking about the Arkells and Monster Truck, is that if people are paying more attention to Hamilton and paying attention more to the bands that are coming out, and let's say somebody was going to show some interest in you guys, except they were going to say, you know what, I want these songs to be less than 3 minutes. So, or I don't want it to sound as heavy or less on the guitar solos because, we want it to be radio friendly. Like, if they're going to dangle a carrot with all these ifs.
Yeah. I mean, that is something that we definitely want to steer away from for sure. If the opportunity is there, the right opportunity, it'll be someone who likes our stuff the way it is, and they just really feel what we're trying to put out is, they're basically agreeing with us. They're on the level, and
this is what you do. I'll tell you, this is what you do. And if that ever happens, they say, can you do this, blah, blah, blah. Just go, yeah, sure. And just give them the exact same song you were going to give them anyways. Yeah. Just make them think you changed it. And then they'll be like, oh, this is great. And then everything's fine.
That's good advice.
You realize you guys more or less hired a manager. Manolis the manager. What are you guys listening to at home? I know you. I know Adam. Adam's dad's a musicologist as well. Rob, your dad, who's always listened to music. So you've always had music in the house, right?
Yeah. There's always been the classic rock and like the blues, like especially like King Biscuit Boy. My dad's was good friends with Sonny Del Rio too. And when I was younger, I remember being in the studio with him recording one of his albums. It was a really cool experience. Right now, the kind of music I listen to at home, like I listen to a lot of Tool. Rage Against the Machine, Sublime. It's kind of like the influences of our band that's the kind of music I listen to.
Dance music.
Yeah, definitely not the dance music.
How about you guys?
It's the same with me for the most part. Everything that Adam mentioned there is for the most part. I also have weird bands in mind right now, like Catch-22, which is like a ska band. I love that kind of stuff like that. And the Deftones as well. I'm a big fan of those guys. Same idea that we all listen to generally the same kind of stuff, I think.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm with those guys. For me, not so much the Rage Against the Machine. I like the Soundgarden. I like Pearl Jam, Nirvana, that kind of stuff that was, coming out of the 90s. Sublime. A big influence of mine has always been Blind Melon, a really underrated band from the 90s.
I still like them.
Oh, yeah,
it's really funny because the bands that you just mentioned are the bands that are being classified as the new classic rock now.
Which is kind of weird, isn't it?
Mojo Magazine had this interesting article a while ago talking about the 20-year anniversary of a lot of the grunge bands, right? And how a lot of these grunge bands now are being represented as the new classic rock bands.
I would say so.
It's just so funny.
But it's weird because I think those bands are the one they work so hard just to even get listened to. It was so hard to break into that scene in a way, like because that was still a time where like there's a lot of cheesy music was like ruling the airwaves, and now it's like they just wanted to be heard, but now they're classic rock.
Yeah. I know. 4:54. We're almost out of time. Before we leave, Manolis, you want to tell us what you're doing this weekend?
What am I doing? I'm doing 2 Greek shows, believe it or not, at churches. So I don't know how that's going to go.
Wow.
And with Angelo Zarukis, and then I'm doing Yuck Yucks tonight, Hamilton with Patrick Coppolino, $3.50 to get in if you guys like comedy.
I know that guy. I think I went to school with him actually.
Oh yeah,
good guy.
Yeah, right on. And that's about it for me.
And you're back healthy as ever.
I'm back. I haven't drank all week, so I've taken a break. I've been drunk for like 12 days.
Wow.
Maybe 11. So, yeah. By the end, I was forcing myself to drink because I knew by the time when I'm in Ontario, when I'm in Hamilton, I usually have a car everywhere, so I'm pretty well forced to be sober. So I feel like I'm making up for lost time when I get a chance to be drunk.
And you guys are taking the stage Saturday night at the Saint with Dirt Star, Graham, and Gentlemen Spectors.
That's right. Yes.
Doors opening up at 9.
8.
8, sorry. And will the records be available Saturday night?
Absolutely.
Very cool. Want to tell us a little bit about the song that we're going to spin, Zombies?
This one's going to be Comatose, I think. Or is it? Which one did you get there?
No, you're right. Let me get Comatose up.
No problem. Do you have a little description on that, Nate?
Well, you guys wrote it.
Well, yeah, it's probably the first song that we actually had Nate put lyrics to when he had come into the band, and it just worked out well, and you can almost tell that we've been kind of jamming this one out the longest, probably.
Folks, you can see these gentlemen Saturday night at the Saint. There's a lot of cool things happening in the city. Make sure you check out Graham Rockingham's article in Hamilton Spectator. Check out the Go section, what's online through thespec.com. Rick Taylor writes his Hamilton music notes every Thursday through View Magazine. You can also read that on viewmag.com. Check out the blogs, iHeart Hamilton, as well as gunnersmith.ca. We'll say goodbye by spinning a song called Comatose.
All right, thanks for having us on
and thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
congratulations, you guys. Here's more music from Dead End Sessions on 93.3 CFMU.
Yeah.